Okay, so we're already almost at the end of the year. It is November, and I've already completed my reading goals. I set out to read 45 books this year, and I've already read 45. So now I'm kind of challenging myself to see if I can double it. So that means I need to read 90 books. Right now I'm at 83. So with the 10 books that I want to read by the end of the year, that'll give me at least 90. So let's get into it. Hi, friend. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Clarissa C, or simply Clarissa, and here we chat about books. You may see a splash of fitness, motherhood, all the things, but mostly we talk about books because that's my way of escape and one of my favorite things to do right now. So today I'm sharing 10 books that I want to read by the end of the year. Some of them have been on my Kindle forever. Some of them have been on my bookshelf forever. And some of them have not been released yet, but they'll be released before the end of the year, and I want to make sure that I read it. And then some of them just Christmas or holiday romances that I'm really looking forward to getting into. Okay, so the first book that I want to read by the end of the year is The Housemaid by Frieda McFadden. I'm probably one of the few people that have not read this book yet. I do want to read it by the end of the year because I know that in December, so technically I guess you could say by the end of the month, I want to read it because I know that by December the movie adaptation will be coming out, and me and a couple of people are going to go see it, and I want to read the book before I go and see the movie because I am very much the book was better, and I won't be able to say that if I've never read the book. Everybody loves this author. I've actually only read one book by this author, and it was a novella. But I am looking forward to seeing what the hype is about. Now, the second book is called A Novel Christmas by Shae, and it's a it looks like a cute little holiday Christmas romance, and it's by a Black author, which I love because who doesn't love Black romance? And I could just totally picture myself, cozied up on a couch reading this novel while my baby sleeps or takes a nap, and have like some hot cocoa or some chamomile tea or something, and just kick my feet and kiki over a lovely little cute romance. Okay, number 3 is The Last Man on Earth by Shae Sanders. Everyone's been talking about this, and I had it on my TBR with my list of hopefuls, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But I do want to get to it by the end of the year. I've never read a trope in this sense. Like, it's apparently about literally the last man on Earth. I guess it's like they're stranded on an island or something like that, and it's just them two, and they have to figure out how to survive. I don't know, something like that. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing what it's about. I hear that it's pretty spicy. I hear that it is very cute and it's full of drama and action. So I'm looking forward to that read as well. All right, number 4 is a book by Brittainy. I read one book by her for the first time ever called The Problem with Fallen, but this book that I'm actually looking forward to reading by the end of this year is If You Stayed. Apparently it is super emotional. So I've actually had to will myself to read it because I haven't been in a mood to read anything that might make me cry. I mean, it's winter, well, almost winter. I love fall, but I hate the cold. So, winter blues starts to come out of nowhere. So I've been trying to read cozier, happier reads. But I do want to read this book because my friend was talking about it, and she has been like ranting and raving about it. And we have very, very similar book tastes. So I really want to get into this before the end of the year. And number 5 is a cute little novella called 7 Days, 7 Dates by Bailey West. And I've been kind of saving this for a moment when I want to read something that's sweet, cute, grown, or whatever. And that very much gives me that vibe. I think it's about 140 or 150 pages, so it's not like super long. As I said, it's a novella, and I'm looking forward to reading that. Now, number 6 is a nonfiction pick, and it's called The Journey of Yes by Brenda Palmer. It is a a Christian based book about her journey to yes, like her journey of yes, how she's had to constantly and repeatedly and faithfully say yes to God, even when it didn't feel good, or even when she was afraid, or and all the things, but how great things have come out of it as well, even if it didn't feel great at the time. So I'm looking forward to reading this because I haven't actually read a faith book in a while. I've literally only been reading fiction. So I do want to get into that, other than like reading my actual Bible and reading like devotionals. I haven't read anything faith-based. So this would be good to get into to kind of change up what I've been reading lately. Now, number 7 hasn't been released yet. It actually releases on November 25th. It's called A Night with Miss Grinch by Lacey. Now, earlier this year, I read, what is it called? I forget what it was called, but I do know that I really enjoyed it. It was a surprisingly good book to me. I didn't expect it to touch on certain topics, but yeah, I read a book by her earlier this year and I really enjoyed it. So when I saw this was coming out, I was like, oh, let me read this. It's cute. It's going to be short, like, you know, real festive and fun. And that's something that you need after you read something that's heavier. And I think the last 2 books that I said that I wanted to read, I may not read them in this order, but if I do read them in this order, it would be good to have this to break up the heaviness or the seriousness of the last couple of books. Now, an author that I want to read, get into their backlist, is the author Nina. And lately, everybody's been talking about Nina on Threads. So I really want to get into her backlist, as well as her more recent releases as well. So I'm looking forward to reading more by her. She is also a Black author, and it's kind of cool to watch the development or the growth in an author's writing style. So I kind of want to go back into her backlist to see it because I do enjoy her writing. Now, number 9 is a historical fiction. So this is just to kind of switch up the genres. I've literally mostly been reading romance and thrillers. I do tend to read fantasy and historical fiction as well, but this year I haven't been reading much of it. I picked up maybe 2 or 3 books. 2 or 3 books that were historical fiction, in each time I put them down. I didn't finish Harlem Rhapsody, even though it wasn't like it was bad, I just wasn't in a mood for it. And then I picked up 2 other historical fictions that were like novellas. They were shorter, and one of them I just DNF'd because it was just too heavy for me at the moment. And the other one, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't boring, it was just not what I was in the mood to read. But this book is a historical fiction called The Great Mann by Kyra Davis Lurie. And I actually have the physical copy of this, and I do want to read it, the physical copy. I've been mostly reading on my e-reader because my toddler, it's easier to read around my toddler with my e-reader. So, but I do want to read that book physically. So I may do that during her nap times and whatnot. And it is like it's a retelling from the Black male lens of the Great Gatsby. And I'm really interested in seeing how it looks. However, I haven't read The Great Gatsby. I don't remember reading it, at least. But either way, they say you don't need to read The Great Gatsby in order to actually enjoy The Great Mann, but I do want to read it to kind of compare in a sense. So, but I will. But that's not something that I have to read by the end of the year. I want to read The Great Mann by the end of the year. And number 10, lastly, is XO Unlawfully Yours by Jahquel J. This book I have been so ready to read this book since I think September. Was it September? I think it was September. And then it got pushed back to October. And then it got pushed back to November. And I think now it's pushed back to December 10th or something like that. So hopefully it doesn't get pushed back again and I can read this by the end of the year, because I've already read the first 2 books in the series, which is 10,000 Hours with a Rich Menace, and Menace is absolutely hilarious. Unhinged, but hilarious. And then Don Caselli, which is his younger brother, the youngest sibling out of all 4 of them. And I just love that book. That book was so good. Dawn, the way, oh man, it was just really cool to see. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites by her. That was definitely a five star read for me. Borderline 6 star because I think I might read it again because of how much I enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to reading XO Unlawfully Yours by Jahquel J because it don't really give much insight into who Cora, the main character, is. You hear about her, but she's, because of her occupation, she's so removed from her siblings. So even within the stories, you don't really hear or see much of her. So it'd be cool to see who she is and read who she is. And then of course, I want to read about Miss Lawyer. Okay, so that's the end of my TBR, or my hopefuls, my 10 hopefuls that I want to read by the end of the year. Share some in the comment section of what it is that you want to read by the end of the year, or if any of these books that I may have mentioned that you read and did enjoy, or even if you didn't enjoy them, just share some insight. I'm always willing and open for conversation around my books. So thanks for watching, friend. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening to me rant about my books per usual. And if this is your vibe, subscribe and join the tribe. We're always looking for more people to chat with. See you in the next one. Later.